Evening councillors, evening members of the public. Sorry we are delayed, but I'd like to thank Andy for coming out and giving us a very detailed presentation. I think it's of interest to us all. Can you hear the microphone? Hello? 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 It's not on.
That's on, comes on.
The other one needs to be off. The needs to be off.
Hello? Yeah. Okay, I'll shout a bit louder. Okay. Item 1635.1 to receive apologies from. Thank you. 1635.2 to note declaration of interest and request for dispensation to discuss and vote on a matter in which a member or cooperative member has a disclosure, pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest. Anything? 1635.3. This is the open forum where questions may be put to the council. It will last for approximately 15 minutes and you can only ask questions on the items on the agenda. Thank you.
Mine isn't a question, it's Julie Smith. It's a statement. I just want to say thank you to the working group who arranged all the Christmas lights in the village. I've had a lot of comments about how lovely they look. So, thank you very much.
Can I ask whether the council actually discussed further the item that was deferred at the last meeting, viz. That the Finance Committee, anybody raising objections and asking an item to be brought forward to the main committee, you know the one, don't you?
We can't bring it back to the committee for 6 months.
Oh, that was
Can't
the
amend it, yes. That was
Right.
when Ashley investigated. Thank you. Any other questions from the floor? Can we move on? Thank you. 1635.4 to approve and sign the minutes of the HPC Council meeting on the 11th of October. Can I go to it page by page and can councillors put their hand up if they've got a comment? So, page 1.
I've got a comment. I wasn't present at this meeting, but your statement, Tova, don't quite agree with what you're saying. You stated Councillor Burgess, who proposed the motion to approve the minutes, has admitted to me by email that she has not read the original statement before proposing approval. This wasn't correct. I never said that to you.
I have copies of the email here.
Oh, I'd like to have a look at them. I think you got confused when you sent me the email. about the minutes, you stated that the minutes defamatory, but you didn't make reference to which minutes you were referencing to.
I don't see that there's any confusion about it.
Well, I've always said from the beginning, I've always believed the minutes are not defamatory. You
Sorry?
disagree with that?
You what, sorry?
You believe the minutes are defamatory, but I believe they're not. I've always stressed that to you, that they're not, but you believe different.
Yeah, but the point...
One of the minutes I got...
What you were saying, what you said in your email is that you hadn't read the copy of the document.
I made reference to the wrong minutes. So I had 3 sets. And I got, on one agenda, I got it 5 days late, but I managed to get it just the day before, which everyone was made aware of. So I had all the minutes. But I disagree with you, saying you're claiming that they're defamatory, but they're not, because we voted to redact any names. You can't have a defamatory case if you've not got no names.
Of course you can.
You need to have names to be defamatory.
Who says?
Cheshire East Council.
So they don't have anything to do with legal definition.
Well, that's what they said to me last year when I raised a defamatory case. They said in order to have a defamatory case,
Well,
you need to say names. We voted to redact names.
the original statement made by Leo Shorrock did mention names.
Leo was at a lot of meetings. He was at a lot of meetings.
What's that?
Leo is at a lot of, he attends most of the meetings, so he's making references all the time. We don't record every single, we voted to redact names. So if you hand that minutes to someone else in our fault, they probably don't really know what you're talking about, it's all names are redacted. That's why you can't have a defamatory case.
Chair, sorry, Chair, we're discussing the agreement to the...
What we're
not
discussing is the validity of the minutes. And I know that Councillor Burgess brought this up with me. She said at no time did she say she would side with Councillor Tolver to vote against the motion that was brought to the table. And that is what you stated.
What we're discussing in the minutes,
Yeah.
whether the minutes are a true record of the...
And Councillor
Meeting.
Burgess is saying no, it isn't.
Well, I know she's saying that, but I have the email here.
To say that she would have voted with you.
No, I never said that. I never talk about voting.
I said that Councillor Burgess told me by email that she hadn't read the original statement. And I have an email here that demonstrates that to be the case. This is the email that I'm referring to in the minutes of the meeting.
Hang on, in the minutes, when we had this meeting, Councillor Tolver, did you not state that because Councillor Burgess had received her minutes late and she hadn't been able to read them, that she would have voted with you?
I don't know
never
how
said
she would
I'll
have
vote
voted.
anything.
No, but that's what you said at the meeting.
You misinterpreted
I'm
what I'm
talking about
saying.
what's in the minutes that we're approving.
I wasn't here at the last
No.
meeting.
No, what was actually said, can I quote it here, Councillor, is that Councillor Burgess, who proposed the motion to approve the minutes, has admitted to me by email that she had not read the original statement before proposing
Never said
approval.
that.
Correct. That's what it says in this email.
No, it doesn't. You misinterpreted what I'm saying.
So she said in there that she
It seems
had not read the original statement
Yeah.
before proposing the approval.
Yes.
No, I never said that.
How do we move on with
Would,
this?
would we like to have copies? Would you like to
Yeah,
have
I'd like
copies?
to read it
Please.
because I think you misinterpreted what I said.
Copies to go around.
Yeah, nothing defamatory because I believe the minutes are not defamatory.
Yeah, that's because you know.
Because all the names are redacted.
Doesn't stop it being defamatory.
I cannot see any defamatory comments.
What you're
Because
saying
Leo
there...
Sharon's name's been
Just
redacted.
let me...
Oh no, you saying inaccurate names.
What you're saying here is that you didn't read the original Shorrock
I
statement.
never said that.
Well, that's what it says, isn't it? That's what it... That's the only logical
I cannot see
conclusion.
any defamatory comments.
But that's the only logical conclusion. If you saw the original statement, that's the only possible interpretation of it.
I'm sorry, the mics aren't working, so can councillors please speak up? Any other comments on, I don't know how we move on from this.
Any other comments on these?
Yes.
Or do you want to vote on these minutes after you've gone through the rest of them?
Just one point, Chair. Councillor Toll just said to Councillor Burgess then that the statement from Mr Shorrock, named Councillor Tolver, therefore defamatory. Yes? He said it named you.
It's defamatory if it identifies somebody.
Okay. The top line.
Sorry, just to be clear. It was defamatory because it told lies. That's right. Please. It was defamatory because it told lies that are harmful. That's what makes it defamatory. If the person who is being defamed can be identified, which I and others could be, even if the names are redacted, then it's defamatory about me or whoever else might be involved.
Right. The first line of the statement was, certain councillors of HPC are now under investigation by the police, East Cheshire Monitoring Officer and your housing antisocial behaviour team.
So any councillors who were there,
Of which there were 5.
well, all 5 then could be
Right.
identified as being.
No, he said certain councillors. He's not saying all councillors who were there, certain councillors. But what that is saying isn't that all councillors that were there were being investigated both by the police, by the monitoring officer and by the antisocial behaviour team. He's not said that all councillors were being investigated by all those agencies. At the time, one of the councillors was being investigated by the antisocial behaviour team because of an incident that took place. One councillor was being investigated by the police for an allegation of assault, and one councillor was being investigated by Cheshire's monitoring team, I presume because Mr Shorrock had made a complaint to the East Cheshire monitoring officer. So the statement's actually true. Is there anything that I've just said that isn't correct?
Well, it's not incorrect except that any HPC councillor who was there could be identified from that as being under investigation by the police, under investigation by whoever. Unless it makes it clear who is and who isn't, then anybody could be assumed to be being defamed.
I don't agree. I think that you could read anything you wanted to.
Doesn't matter if you read or not.
The only time that councillors were named, Councillors Thompson and Tolver have been involved with the MAGs right from the beginning.
It's being identified.
That's the only way that you've been identified. It said certain councillors. And I see that Councillor Burgess has taken the same view.
Just being a councillor at that party is enough to identify you as being under investigation.
Chair, can I say that, if we've got solicitors looked at this, so why we're trying to explain it away when we obviously don't know.
We've been in touch with our legal team.
Well, nobody, Chair, again, with respect, why doesn't somebody come back and tell us that we've...
Have we got some written output from
Yes. Because Ashley said that unless it came to a point where he needed to respond, you'd only just put a letter in. You hadn't put it as a statement or as a motion. So the clerk said, well, we don't need to circulate this.
Well, I disagree, and that's not good enough.
Can we go and get copies then, please? Can we hold the meeting for 5 minutes and get copies, please, so that all the councillors can see that?
Okay, this will take a moment or two.
We're just going to shut the meeting down for 5 minutes while we get some more valid information. I did take
Maybe we can bring this up under there.
Can we pick up afterwards? Can we just get these minutes? Get through the minutes first, and then I can get that sorted out. I've got one copy with me, but...
Is there any other comments about these minutes?
1.1, page 3, where it says Councillor Sampson proposed, it says motion carried, regarding the amendments to the Planning and Environment Committee terms of reference.
Which number is this, please?
This is 1629.8, yeah, which runs on to page 3. It's just a technical matter. It said 6 for and 1 abstention. There were already actually 6 councillors there at that meeting, so it only had to be 5 for and 1 abstention.
Yeah. Are there any other comments from the minutes? Councillor.
Chair, may I haven't got really a reference to any changes, but I just could I ask councillors to give us an update as to their talks with Procedural Town Council, Cheshire East, which is contained in 1629.11 at some future date. Just an update on their discussions.
I could give you that really quickly.
Well, can we just leave it, not now, but for
We haven't
another
got
day?
one in place.
Okay, you've not had a meeting yet?
No.
Okay, fine.
Any other comments? Can I ask for a proposer to accept the minutes with the current amendments?
Or will that amendment include Councillor Burgess stating that she didn't say what has been recorded?
That would be a comment to be made during this current meeting, would it not?
Yes.
Technically speaking.
You have to...
Accept, yeah, I accept that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or in fact, indeed, Councillor Sullivan read out a statement from Kay Burgess. at the last meeting.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I have a proposer to accept the minutes, please, of Tuesday the 11th of October? Seconder? All those in favour? No. Any abstentions? Against? Thank you. The next item on the agenda is to approve and sign the minutes of the extraordinary meeting of the 2nd of November. Once again, can we do it page by page, and then any comments will be discussed. Page 1. Nothing? Thank you. Page 2.
Yes, Chair.
Sorry, I did have something on page 1 of them. I've just been able
Sorry.
to find them. Sorry,
Okay.
just being a bit slow.
Councillor Smith, can you...
I'll wait, yeah, fine, yeah.
On the big paragraph in the middle of page 1, Councillor Smith's point, the word ban has appeared in here several times. Whether the police are going to, whether I had asked councillors if they had asked the police to ban a resident. I was very specific in not using the word ban. I asked if councillors had asked the police to ask a resident. The word ban appears 3 times in that paragraph, and I didn't use the word ban once.
What did you ask to use?
I said ask to ask.
Ask to ask.
Did the police ask the resident?
And what was the question you wanted to be asked? Was that where... Did
The police just wants to change the word
Yeah.
ban to change it to be to ask.
To ask.
Okay. Anything else on page 1?
Yeah. We'll wait until we come to the next bit, I think.
Nothing on page... Anything else on page 1? No. Page 2?
Yes, Chair. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th paragraph. Councillor Talbot also raised a point of order and noted that on the 20th of October, a member of the public had visited the parish office to scrutinise the accounts, and within a day or two of this visit, a councillor had spoken to the police and asked the police to persuade the member of the public not to attend the finance meeting. Firstly, I'd like to say that, to my knowledge, no councillor asked the police to go and see a member of the public after they had scrutinised the accounts, which that is what that paragraph to me implies. Is that fair to say?
The timing of it is true as far as I understand it.
The timing is true. Yes,
Timing
but
is true that they
but it's
were-
suggesting to me that it was suspect. Is that not what you're intending?
Well, it's me that's asking the question, really,
Yeah.
not you. I'm
Yeah.
asking, is there a connection?
Because you believe that there's a connection between those two
I'm
events.
asking if there is a connection.
And
Let-
Councillor
let-
Tolver stated that this was a matter for the record as the police visited a resident, and the note to the officer who had attended would be made available to the people involved. Has that now come to light?
No,
Right. Now, what I would advise is that you said that the member of the public attended the parish offices on the 20th of October, and then because something happened a couple of days later, they must be tied in some way,
but,
is what it suggests to me.
until-
However, I would advise
until
that we
we know-
contacted the police on the 12th of October, 8 days before the member of the public attended the council offices. We met with an officer the first time on the 18th of October, 2 days before that person attended the council offices.
So the first contact was on the 12th.
On the 12th, following an incident, we met with the officer on the 18th because there was nobody available. The CPSO was actually on leave. Contact with the member of the public was attempted by that officer on the 18th of October. However, there was no reply. Then you're telling me that the member of the public then went into the offices on the 20th. Police then tried again on the 23rd of October, and I believe that they were successful on that day, actually contacting the member of the public. So there is no actual connection at all, and I believe that that infers that there was your statement there, inferring that a councillor had spoken to the police and asked the police to persuade the member of the public not to attend the finance meeting. No one did.
You are giving me a sequence of events that demonstrates that there probably was no connection. This is the first time I've been able to get this information. Remember that you and Councillor Sullivan have been criticising me for bombarding you with 2 emails, I think it was. And
More than
I
2.
haven't been able...
I don't think it was it was the fact that you kept repeating the same question to me, and I'd already answered it a couple of times.
Well, look,
I've no problem. If you'd have asked me
Here's-
that additional information, I would quite happily provided you with that.
well, you
But
said you
there's no-
wouldn't. You said you wouldn't answer.
No, I said I wouldn't
questions
answer
because
the
they
same
were
question again. I can't keep answering the
You
same
didn't answer
question.
my first question.
I did. I said that I didn't ask any member of the public not to attend a meeting.
Here's the problem I have. 2 councillors spoke to a police officer. Police officer spoke to a member of the public who was asked, persuaded, banned, advised, I don't know what, because we don't have the notes from the PCSO, was persuaded, let's call it that, no more at the moment, not to attend the next following meeting, which is the finance meeting. Now,
No.
there's something going wrong in our democracy when police persuade, ask, whatever,
But they
a member of the
didn't, Councillor
public.
Tolver,
Well-
and that's the whole point.
Well, that's
We
what-
had a PCSO here at the last meeting,
Yeah.
and I asked him that direct question, and he came back and said, no member of the public was stopped from attending a meeting.
We're going to find
Yeah.
that out when we get the notes, aren't we?
Well, we got the FOIs.
When is that?
No, it means the notes coming back from the meeting that Councillor Smith and I had with the police. The notes off the back of that, Councillor Toll has asked for a copy of those.
No, I haven't asked.
Oh right, I thought you were
The
going to.
member of
Sorry.
the public has.
Oh right, okay.
And are we certain that those haven't arrived back yet? That information?
I haven't been offered a copy of
Was
them.
it 40 days?
30.
30.
What I would say though, Chair, is that on the morning of the finance meeting that was eventually not taking place, Councillor Tolver asked me if I had asked the police to tell a member of the public not to attend? And I said, no, I hadn't. Then Councillor Thompson asked Councillors Burgess and Sullivan.
No, I
if,
didn't ask that. What I said...
Let me finish. You said, have any other councillors
Yes, but that's not...
asked that? Is that correct?
What I said is I asked that, and any other councillor asked.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
I didn't say any other councillor in name.
No. But you've looked at both of them. They were sat
No,
opposite the
no,
table.
I
And you said,
addressed it.
all right, all right.
I addressed
okay.
it to all councillors in this room,
Right.
in the room at the time.
Right.
So,
there was only
there was three
myself and
councillors.
Councillor Burgess.
Get back to these minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the issue is, we gave an answer, a direct answer to those questions, and yet you still kept coming back, asking for a different answer. Why would you do that? Is it because you didn't believe us?
Well, I want to get to the bottom of who decided to, whatever it was, ask the resident not to attend. If it was a councillor asking the police to ask the resident not to attend,
But you've
then
been
I-
told, Councillor
Can I
John.
please get
No,
to the end of
you
this?
can't, because
Well,
I
why
want
not?
to make it quite clear to you that both these councillors have told you they did not inform the police to ban a member of the public from a meeting. Now, you're either calling
If you would-
these two councillors
if you would
liars.
let me get to the
No,
end-
I'm not,
if you would let
because
me
you've
get to
gone
the end-
over and over this, Councillor John.
If you would
And
let me
I'm
get to
very,
the end-
very sorry.
if you
We
would let me
need to
get
move
to the
on
end
to
of the
these minutes,
sentence.
please.
If you would let
You're
me get to the
obviously
end of my sentence.
disrespecting your fellow councillors.
If you would let me get to the end of my sentence, you would say I am not. What I want to know is what happened to cause that resident to be persuaded not to go to the
Well,
meeting.
you should go back and ask him. Go back and ask him. You've asked these two in-depth questions
I want
about
to
it.
know.
Please go back to the
I want
member
to
of the
know
public.
if it was a councillor or the PCSO
It wasn't.
who took it upon
It
herself.
was not
Neither.
a councillor. They have just told you it was not a councillor.
Then we will
Are you
have-
accusing these two councillors of lying?
If it isn't the councillors, it must be the PCSO.
Well, yeah, well then you must take it up with the PCSO
No,
then,
that's what I'm
mustn't you?
waiting for the vote on.
The PCSO clearly stated at the meeting
No, this
that
is-
no member of the public had been stopped from attending the meeting.
This was not the PCSO who was...
No, but he'd gone back. Councillor
Could the
Tolman.
This is not the
Lying.
PCSO.
Yeah, okay.
Could
Yeah,
the
After
fine.
the interview with the two
Could
councillors.
the resident be lying?
Well,
Have you asked the resident what he actually
Yeah.
said?
Yes.
have you?
So you've got the information from the resident telling you that a councillor asked the police
So I
to
said,
stop him going. So the resident has told you, it seemed, that the police have been told by a councillor to stop that resident going to a meeting. Is that correct?
those aren't the right words because we're having to tinker about with the use of the word ask, etc.
Have you got anything in writing from the resident that backs up? Obviously, this person has told you what's happened. Have you got anything written down?
Have I got anything written down?
Chair, I mean, sorry, I'm missing something, but why don't we wait for these notes to materialise either?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Isn't there?
Because it's a point on these minutes, councillor,
Well,
that
Chair, may
that's been
I
stated.
make a comment here? Okay, if we are discussing the minutes and what was ensued during the meeting, which is what the minutes are about, that is what is ensued. Rather, the veracity of what those statements are is an additional question. That's what the point is. But actually what ensued in the meeting, that is what happened.
No, that's your opinion of what's happened. Other councillors are now saying that they don't agree with some of the comments in the minutes
No,
because
yes,
that wasn't
exactly,
what was
exactly.
said.
Exactly.
So what I need to
that's-
ascertain is exactly what is a true and accurate record. Do you know what a true and accurate
Yes, I
record
do.
is?
I do.
Good.
Because the true
that's
and
what
accurate
we're looking.
record, Chair, the true and accurate record is what is written down.
Not
The
necessarily.
interpretation of it is a different matter.
Correct.
Okay. What this is a true and accurate record of what Councillor Tolver stated in the minutes, in the meeting. You may agree with his statements or disagree with his statements, but that was what he said. So
Okay.
therefore we are actually discussing what was said and this is what was minuted.
One
So
final,
either we accept that this is what he said, or we don't accept that that's not what he
that's
said.
fine, that's fine. One final question. I'd just like to know, when the information comes back from the police with this information that no councillors, will that be no councillors have requested them to make any requests of a member of the public causing them not to attend under any word ban as suggest, will Councillor Tolver accept that we were telling the truth when that comes, if that comes back?
Well, probably, but I'll have to see
Oh,
what
that's
the
very good
wording
of you.
is, won't I?
Thank you, Chair, that's all.
Thank you. Right, anything else on page 2? Page...
Sorry, there was a bit at the bottom of that section where the PCSO's reply, because this was something that occurred during the meeting rather than a copy of Councillor Smith's email, okay? So just before 16:31:3 goes. PCSO conference, had somebody been banned from council?
Barred, not banned.
PCSO replied no. PCSO replied that the interviewing PCSO's notes did not say so. Is a more accurate comment of what he said, because the PCSO at the meeting was not the PCSO who
No,
did
but
the
he
interview.
replied no because he'd read the previous PCSO who interviewed this member of the public.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it clear in the minutes that the two PCSOs are different people.
Yes, I know they are.
Yeah, I know
Well,
they are, I wanted to be in the minutes.
But you can't go amending the minutes now. That's not what we recorded. 1 minute you're saying you can't add something.
We're discussing the structure of the
Yeah,
content
but
of the minutes.
I asked the question to the PCSO, did Councillor Sullivan or Councillor Smith ask for a member of the public to be barred from a meeting? And he came back and said
Because
no.
he was talking, Councillor Smith asked him if he'd seen the minutes
No, he
from the original
didn't.
PCSO.
I asked the question. I asked the question.
Well, my memory was...
Councillor Sampson did ask the question and then did say no.
We said, had you seen the notes, didn't we? Somebody asked, had you seen the notes?
Was that?
So,
I think the only way he could answer no is if he had been given that information from his colleague.
Yeah,
That's the only way it could be done.
or read them.
But they will all have access to each other's notes, I'm sure, in the event that there is someone not on duty and an answer is required.
as I say, my memory, the way I remember it was that during the meeting, somebody asked if he'd seen the notes.
Well, that's not been minuted, has it?
No.
Well, that's
So
what
we
I'm
can't
asking
add
to
it.
be minuted.
Well, we can't add it in.
If nobody...
Lots of other things may have been said during the meeting, but we're not adding that in either, are we?
But
Well,
that's
hence
why
the
I'm
material
discussing
point.
what's in the minutes.
I think I'm inclined to agree with Councillor Tolver in this
But
position.
you're going against everything you've just
No,
said.
no, I'm
Councillor
not.
Thompson.
I'm saying
Did it happen at the meeting?
what I'm saying here is that Councillor's right.
Yeah, but do you remember it happening at the meeting?
Oh yes.
Oh,
Is it recorded as happening at the meeting?
I agree that you asked the PCSO
Yeah, I
and he
did.
replied no.
No.
As regarding was he asked about had he read the notes, I can't confirm or deny that myself.
Well, that's
Okay.
what-
I'm in the minority of one, so...
But I mean, you know, that is a material point to these minutes.
So if I remember something today that isn't put in the minutes for this meeting, and then next week when we're agreeing the minutes, true or not, I say, hang on a minute, something else happened that wasn't minuted, and therefore get that added. And we can go on ad infinitum.
So you're saying that you can never debate minutes?
We can debate it, but we can't change it.
Well, of course, that's
You
what
can
the debate is
amend
about.
minutes if the record hasn't been recorded correctly.
Right.
Well, that's what.
Well, that's what I'm
You
challenging.
amend
Yeah,
minutes if there's a
but-
glaring error in the
Yeah,
minutes.
and is there a glaring error? Because I don't remember a councillor
All
asking.
these
Or was
questions are not
Well,
glaring
with
errors.
respect, Chair, we don't seem to be able to take anybody's word,
No,
which is
I
a
know,
pretty poor
which
show,
is-
really, isn't it?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I mean, I will add that in, but it will have to be voted upon, Councillor Tolver. Your amendment will have to be voted upon because the parish clerk hasn't recorded it. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree that's the best way forward,
Yes.
because that way you don't have all these
Okay.
argument about it. It's all right
Right,
or it's
so
wrong, isn't it?
can you propose what your amendment is that you want included,
Okay.
please?
PCSO replied that the interviewing PCSO's notes did not say so.
Did you record that?
Sorry,
Did you write that down, what it said?
I didn't write it down at the time, I remembered it in my head.
Okay, so from memory, so it could be
Yeah.
incorrect.
Well,
Okay.
On that, we will
Do it now.
Right, the amendment is
Yeah.
that
We change it.
PCSO
Right.
replied,
The interviewing PCSO.
the,
No.
the
did not
interviewing
say so.
PCSO said no. All those in favour? Against? I'm going to abstain because, I mean, I don't want to be calling any councillor that they've been telling the truth, but it's making us look very suspect at the moment. I'd like to abstain, please.
Yeah,
And
we've
can
got
you give my
we weren't there,
reason?
were we?
So this one.
Yeah. Can you
No,
say I
that's what you
abstain?
were
No,
there.
no,
Yeah.
And my reason?
And your, yeah,
Yeah.
abstain.
All right.
And your full reason why, please.
All right.
Well, the motion's failed.
Yeah. Thank you. Anything else on page 2? No? Page 3.
Page, not to amend the minutes, but I did bring some material as a result of the question by Mr Harrison, which was the open forum at the House of Hope. So I did bring some stuff to give to the clerk.
I know that Mr Harrison asked for emails from Councillor Tolver. Did Councillor Tolver send you any?
It's relevant here.
Oh, right. Anything else on that page, please? Page 4. Nothing? Nothing. Page 5. Can I have a proposer to accept the minutes with those amendments that have been either voted on or failed?
First, John.
Yeah. Seconded. Kerry Burgess. All those in favour of accepting these minutes? Against?
I know you weren't there either.
Thank you. Minutes of the meeting of Hanford Parish Council on Tuesday, the 8th of November. Right, page 1. Any council comments, please? Any councillors' comments? No? Page 2. Comments from anybody?
No.
Page 3. Anything? No? Page 4.
16, 50, 12 in the middle of the page, about the review of projects. I raised the point that the local plan had not been mentioned in the project plan.
You did, but I did put it in, and I've now circulated it. Did you get that? Because I did circulate it before, councillors. And I certainly added the local plan into it.
I haven't seen one with the
Have you not? I will resend it to you, because I definitely updated it and put the local plan in there.
Okay. Apologies.
Yeah.
I missed it, but I don't remember.
I'm sure I sent that out. Yeah, I definitely sent it
I'll
out.
check.
Yeah, it's definite I sent it out, yeah.
I'll double check.
Yeah.
Do you know what day you sent it?
It will have been a couple of days after the meeting.
Okay. I'll check.
Yeah, 1 or 2 days after the last meeting, so about the 10th of November.
Okay.
Yeah, just double check. I'll tell you what, I'll send it out again tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
Just so you,
I
yeah.
think I got it because I was in Newburgh on holiday.
Any other comments? comments on that page? No, thank you. Page 5. Thank you. Can I have a proposal to accept? Councillor Sullivan. All those in favour?
Who seconded it?
I'll second it.
Okay, seconded it.
All those in favour of accepting it?
I do take that.
Kelly,
And mine was the,
you know, thank you for that. Everybody's got their accounts for payment. Are there any comments on the order of payment accounts before I get a proposal to accept them, please? No?
No.
Can I? Are you happy?
Yeah.
Can I have a proposal, please?
Ian. Seconded.
Brian. All those in favour? Unanimous. Thank you. 1635 to the report from the clerk.
Right, just quickly, the Christmas lights have now been switched on in the village, and I have received numerous comments from residents indicating their approval of how nice they look. And resident pointed out as well. The SID has now been deployed at all 3 entrances to Handforth, and all the recorded data has been circulated to all councillors. I think we've all got it, haven't you?
Can I just say, Chair, very interesting, isn't it? Very interesting results.
I need to meet up with a couple of councillors and just go through what it can do, traffic volume wise, as well as speed wise.
Are we going to leave that to New Year, is that? Or
Probably for the best,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Probably for the best. But I can go through that. In fact, I've got the traffic volume graphs that I can send out to you,
Thank you.
which is also interesting. A quick breakdown is a very quick breakdown. 45,000 cars enter Handforth per week from the Lakeland roundabout entrance. 40,000 enter Handforth from the Wilmslow entrance, from Wilmslow Garden Centre.
So this is per week.
This is per week, yeah.
Do we have that in
Are there
weekdays?
people going one way then coming back the other way?
Possibly.
Possibly, yeah. These are just the number of cars that are passing through Handforth per week, and 25,000 come up Dean Road, interestingly enough as well, and pass through Handforth. So you've got about 100,000 cars passing through the centre of Handforth in any one week. The peak days, don't quote me on this, I think it was Friday. No. Friday was the peak day, and Saturday's another peak day as well.
Yeah, shopping day.
Chair, would it be an idea to put it on our website, or is that planned already?
No,
Can do, yeah, can do.
I find it interesting that there's a disparity between how many coming in, how many going out.
Yeah. Who's just sat here?
Do we have a peak hour figure?
I can get one.
It's not easily.
I can get one.
Can you?
I can get one.
Because that's really how the Cheshire East figures are all based, and the Sevens
peak
figures
hour.
are all based on peak hour.
Yes, I
So
can
you've got
definitely.
the 8 to 9 and the 5 till 6.
Yes, yes. It automatically puts those into the reports, doesn't it? Yeah. But there might be a different peak hour for Handforth, we don't know. But generally, I'll find that out and I will send you that information.
Can I just ask,
When you
does
say
sale there? Sorry.
Can I just ask, you want it put on the council website? Do you want it put on the Facebook page as well? Because we'll get loads of
As far
hits
as,
on
yeah,
that.
I mean, yes,
So the
fine,
more
yeah.
people
Yeah.
that have it. Okay, thank you.
I mean, it was really, I don't know if anybody's seen these stats, but one of the most interesting things was one of the cars was doing 85 miles an hour, wasn't it? 85.
Is it 2 o'clock in the morning?
So that wasn't in the peak hour.
I think it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, wasn't it?
I did that. It's quite interesting going through it.
Yeah, just one question on that, is that given that it shows an average speed,
Yeah.
now a lot of the time, traffic going through Handforth isn't moving. So that average speed is possibly being
Watered down, isn't it?
It does get skewed.
Yeah, skewed. Is it possible that we can
That's how
find
they
the average
work out.
speed moving to?
That's how they work out the 85th percentile for speed,
Right.
which gives you. It's a really complex calculation, and I'm not a mathematician, so I don't really understand how they come to it. But that's where it takes all that slowed down and skewed data and turns it into this 85th percentile range.
Yeah.
If there's a mathematician out there who understands it better than I do, then
I think, Chair, the average.
statistics some years ago.
yeah.
I think that speed was above these 30 miles an hour, wasn't it?
Yes.
What we'd say is the average of whatever. It was above the 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, Dean Road is the worst offender. Yeah.
There is a member of the public with his hand up.
I'm sorry, scratching my head.
No, not definitely
If I
not you.
may, I've watched the speed indicator device in action on Coppice Way. And I think the highest speed recorded during the period was 79 miles an hour. But if you watch the device in action, it detects a car coming towards it, perhaps exceeding the speed limit, and then the car puts their brakes on, and the speed comes down and down and down until it passes the device. Is the device clever enough to just count the
It only counts the
speed?
initial ping, yeah.
Yes.
It is,
Yeah.
thank you.
And then it likes to let people know what they're doing after the ping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is a count to actual range on Winslow Road now, isn't there?
Sorry.
There's a count on Winslow Road now.
Yeah, there is by Wilmslow View. I don't know. I think that's to do with
Cheshire.
That's a Cheshire, yeah. But I'd like to raise an issue about the lights, in the sense of the opening of the lights. I was advised by somebody that in the Enforced Parish Council gazebo, wine was being given out. Is that correct?
Incorrect.
It's very
Totally
incorrect.
wrong.
I'm asking.
totally
I'm
wrong.
not
A member of the
accusing.
public
No.
has lied to you.
No.
Again.
I
No
can
wine was
assure
given
you
out.
there was no wine. There was hot chocolates.
I'm just
and
asking.
There was
Just asking.
no,
Tea,
well,
coffee and hot
tea,
chocolate.
coffee and hot
Fine.
chocolate.
There was mulled wine being sold at a different
It
stall.
Wasn't
Well,
so.
No,
Wasn't
sorry,
Wasn't
it was
so.
given away with
Yes.
Yeah.
a mince pie if they bought a mince pie.
Well, I'm just concerned about Enforced Parish
No, it
Council.
wasn't.
No.
I was there all day.
Absolutely not. We do.
Okay.
We know that no
How's that got to
alcohol must
do
be
with
served.
your
Thank you.
report?
No.
Okay.
Don't know, look at it.
The SID data has also been shared with Cheshire Police. They're very interested. The clerk will be working with the PCSO to draw up a plan of location deployment. We discussed it with the council, but it's good to get the police's input because they all detect the worst roads and ask for it to be deployed there as well. If you've got more input, let me know.
Yeah.
Cheshire's Council are running a consultation review of the borough's household waste and recycling centres. A link to this consultation for residents to leave feedback can be found on the CEC's website as well as HPC's website.
Yeah.
Actually, could I just very quickly raise something?
It's got this here.
Oh, sorry. I just want to raise it under general. I'll do it at the end, sorry.
Finance, I've updated the year-to-date budget. You've got that now. I've circulated out this meeting. You've all got it. I don't need to discuss it. It's all.
It's just a note.
Regarding the neighbourhood plan, I know that was the initial meeting was set up. Okay. At the last meeting, when it was raised, I asked could I be informed of that meeting, and I had no notification.
This is literally just to get everybody together.
Well.
And residents,
how can people get
and
together?
residents only.
Residents only.
Only, yeah.
But what's I don't know
When the
what's
meetings
further.
when the meetings get a bit more in depth
Then
and about the actual plan itself, then we'll give you all a
everybody
shout.
will
Yeah.
be informed.
Well,
It's
Yeah.
Ashley's job
but
to
the point is, you see,
facilitate.
is if people had actually known about the meeting, then they could have put themselves forward. By keeping it quiet, you don't know how many people are
It wasn't
actually.
kept quiet.
Well-
it was ages ago that we asked.
What I'm
people who
saying
were
is,
interested.
I asked
Please
to be
don't go
noticed.
there, Councillor Thompson.
Well-
that's not quite right. Again,
Again.
Well,
Thank
well,
you.
if
No,
people
it's not
don't know
right.
about the meeting,
did
then
know.
how can they actually
you
join
weren't
in?
informed about the meeting because you weren't on the original steering group. The names were given out at a meeting. They came to John Brooks. They gave John Brooks the list. Ashley has inherited it. Your name wasn't on it.
I know it wasn't.
Right, fine. Can you move on, please?
Anyway,
Point.
so the Neighbourhood Plan Steering Group has now been set up with the core membership, and its chairperson has been elected. There's a great deal of work to do surrounding this, including applications to CEC, which has actually just taken place, to designate a neighbourhood area and apply for government funding sources to carry out the plan. That's it.
Good.
I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Ashley for all his help to me personally with the pantomime that we recently put on. And he actually gave up a lot of his time above and beyond what he should have done to help me make sure that the event ran very smoothly, so I just wanted to acknowledge that in the public forum. Thank you, Ashley.
Okay, I second that. Thank you. 1635-9 to discuss and agree the adoption of the revised Campus of Hope Food Bank and Job Club policy. I understand that Councillor Smith has looked into this.
Yes, Chair. I agree that the policy is acceptable from my point of view. Ashley's produced it with some information from other councillors. We do need a process. We do need a procedure. I'd have no problem with the actual specification on here, except I just have an addition to the last line, last paragraph, where Hampers of Hope to advise HBC on a quarterly basis the number of Hamforth residents who've been beneficiaries of the food bank and job club. I'd just like that to be a little bit more specific in that how many people have gained employment, interviews attended, are those people still in that position, has it been successful, and the hampers, how many hampers have been issued to Hamforth residents. Because that was my understanding when the proposal was first made in 2014, which I was at that meeting in the audience, that it mentioned that the council would donate funds for purchase of provisions, which would then be utilised for the people of Hamforth. So I'd like to see that Hampers of Hope are actually doing that on our behalf. So I'd just like that amendment to show that sort of detail.
There's just a bit more specificity about what it's been spent on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other comments on that agenda item? So are we, can I propose that we adopt the revised terms of reference for Hampers of Hope and procedure with that amendment? Is that what?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I'm asking, yes. I'd like to propose that.
Okay, I'll second that.
Yeah.
All those in favour? Thank you. 1635-10 to receive a request for donations from the Hampers of Hope group and agree items which HPC are willing to fund for the remainder of the current financial year. Any comments, Councillor Smith?
Yeah, yes, sorry, just looking for it now. The list of items which were purchased following the agreement in 2014 to set up the Hampers of Hope working group. It shows quite a lot of items that were specifically not for food stuffs. It's such things like flyers for delivery, chopping boards, knives, George Foreman grill, fruit collection bins, items like that, a banner sort of thing. My understanding was that we were going to be funding Hampers of Hope in order to fund people in Handforth who were struggling and needed assistance with a hamper. Was that not correct?
Will I speak to that one?
Sure.
The whole idea of the way that dry food banks work is that they collect packeted food, tin food, stuff that doesn't necessarily have to be prepared before being eaten,
Yep, agreed.
to make up the hampers to hand them out. So the intention was never that we would provide them with cornflakes, tins of peas, that sort of thing. The food preparation items, such as the George Foreman grill, the knives, the slicing boards, what have you, that's partly so that they could prepare fresh food for people coming in for things like breakfasts and lunches while they were there at the food bank, undergoing training or whatever. It could include some simple cookery courses, food preparation courses. The banners were to publicise the fact that hampers are both there and in existence, to encourage people who wanted to, who could benefit from their services. So that's, I mean, there are several different items of expenditure and several different justifications.
Right. Okay. I'm surprised that we were actually paying for food to be prepared on the premises, because it's never been allowed. Food preparation wasn't ever allowed at the Winslow View premises by the owners.
It became not allowed at some point in the last year, I think.
No. I have I'll just answer that, Councillor. I have an email that was correspondence from Contour to a member of Staff Lane Residents Association, Alan Murdoch, who had been quite heavily lobbying for permission to use Winslow View for cooking purposes. However, from 20 March, April 2014, and then finally in April 2014 still, the manager at Contour, Paul Charnock, advised that the reason, because Mr. Murdoch made a valid point that, well, if it was a flat, you could put a cooker in there. So why can't a cooker be in there? And the Contour response was, hi Alan, it's the fact that we will be letting a number of different groups use the room and we can't be there to supervise that things are used properly. Even the basic things like cleaning could become problematic if we encourage food preparation. It really is opening a can of worms when you take into account health and safety and hygiene rules, etc. And that was in April 2014, which says to me that there's always been that policy in place that food preparation was permitted.
I think that, I mean, Contour's a big organisation and it might be a question of left hand and right hand not communicating with each other. There was a manager for Contour, I can't remember,
Peter Coventry.
He's Paul Charnock's boss. He delegated it to Paul Charnock.
I did speak to him in this early phase.
I've got an email from him to say that no cooking was to be allowed.
Well, okay, fine.
Have you got an email?
No, I was speaking to the guy face to face.
Okay, thank you.
No, you did mention to me. Sorry, you did mention to me when we first discussed this about the cooking in Winslow View. You did say that you had an email from Contour that allowed them to do that.
Yeah. So
you did say to me that when I questioned the cooking in Winslow View, because other groups were not allowed to do it, that you said you had an email from Contour giving you permission to do that, or giving Hampers of Hope permission to do that.
All right, well, I'll have a look for that.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, anyway, as at the moment, I can assure you that no cooking whatsoever is allowed in Winslow View.
So where's all the stuff?
Pardon?
And where's all the cooking stuff that was bought then?
It will go into the central fund.
Oh, it's for handful.
Unfortunately, we haven't got anybody here from Hampers of Hope to...
Sorry, I was expecting the lady from Hampers of Hope
was
here
as
this
well.
evening.
Yeah.
So I had a few queries from her. Because, as I said, my understanding was we paid for food, which was to help people in Amford. But and what someone has mentioned to myself is that they feel a little bit misled, because there's a bin in Tesco for donations, and there's Hampers of Hope at Winslow View, so they assume that the food goes local. That's how they viewed it. There was one at St Chad's, I think there was one at Spa, one at Tesco, and they thought, oh, this goes local. But then they've since found that it doesn't. It goes to a central depot, those donations, and then it's spread out. What I wanted to ask the lady from Ann Dawson, is it, was given that some of the numbers on their figures, how many actual people in Hamforth have received food hampers, and it's in the Hampers of Hope spreadsheets by month. It says that 4 people in Hamforth received a hamper in 5 months, which that's not what we're funding, is it? We're funding to get more resources.
Well, I wish I was here, but what we're funding altogether is not just this food thing again. We're not funding food. We never have funded food, except where there were some bacon butties, for example, if you recall that. But that's just to break the ice for people as they come into the building, as it were. It isn't the food that they're being given in the hampers to take down to their kids.
No, but if something's called a food bank,
I know, so I don't want to continue. The food bank collects the food from the stores. Some of the food that they collect in Handforth stores will go to Wilmslow because they've got an excess of cornflakes, for example. Some of the food that they collect from Wilmslow will come into Handforth. Okay?
well, I believe it all goes to one central depot first,
Yes, they have to. They have to get the store.
and then it's organised. Yeah.
Yes.
So they collect where they can and they distribute where they need, is really where it works.
Understood, yes.
So the food that we've funded has only ever been the
burgers and the bacon.
I don't know about burgers, but bacon butties.
Yeah, there was burgers on them.
And the cookery course food, the George Foreman grill, and food that could be used in the George Foreman preparation, the cooking. Whether it was authorised or not, that's by Winslow.
Yeah,
By
understand.
Winslow. That's what it was for. And as far as I know, that's the only food that's ever been paid for by us.
Sorry, Chair. I just I'm not quite clear, because there's obviously there's the job club. There's a job club there as well. So presumably during the course of the particular, it's Thursdays, isn't it? Is it Thursday?
Yes,
Presumably there'll be some supply during the course of that day, and it might be, I don't know, sandwiches or I've got no idea.
They
But
do money advice courses, they do job club, they do CV preparation, that sort of stuff. I mean, it isn't just food bank.
no, I think that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, because I think we're just talking about the food club, which is, sorry, the food bank, which is donations of food.
Yeah.
But it might be that the things that we're talking about are more associated with, or it's linked to the food club, or the Hampers of Hope, but it's linked more to the training side, and because I've been down there, and there are a number of people that undertake some form of training.
Yeah, we have the numbers for that.
Oh no, I don't know what the numbers are, but I've only been there the one week.
Yeah, and but don't rest assured, I have absolutely full backing for anything to do with the job club. If anything to get someone into work is obviously what we want to happen, and they don't hopefully need the other benefits of the food bank. But I am concerned that people who may be struggling, we're not donating food, and I think we should be. We should be paying for food to go through, even if we send it direct to the main depot, so that then is shown as coming back to people in Handforth who are having problems.
Well, I mean, it goes back to the point that you said that about leaflets. I mean, if leaflets go out and people understand it's available, then they're more likely to avail themselves of it. Therefore, there'll be more demand.
And it also helps to publicise
But,
it to
one of
the
the-
social security
But
agencies.
one of the problems with these sort of agencies, sadly, is that the referral system for some people is a bit intrusive. You know what I mean? Some of them have to go, like, it might be a referral via a GP or a practice or a
But-
church. Do you know what I mean?
But
And,
that is not HPC's
I understand
concern,
that.
is it?
No, I
We're up
understand
the
that.
stream
but
from that, aren't we?
I understand that, Councillor Smith, but you can see the problems thereof by those points.
Chair, should we invite Anne Dawson to come in
I
and
think we
chat
should. I think we should.
about
And I think we should have a working group meeting as well
Yeah.
to discuss these items.
Well, we
Uh,
did
so-
have a
Better
working
for it
group,
to come
didn't
to,
we?
wouldn't it?
It would be
Yes.
useful, yes.
Yes.
Can I?
Can I just make the point from what Councillor Clark said about them being there in the job club all day, needing sandwiches and everything? You were the one who refused refreshments for kids playing tennis all day. Yeah?
Chair, first of all, I don't want to get in an argument with a member of the public. You shouldn't be talking anyway. I'm quite happy to talk to anybody outside the meeting about it.
Thank you. Can you meet with Councillor Clark?
Sorry?
Can you meet with Councillor Clark afterwards?
No, make a point.
Well, we
well, I
strike
just
for the
want to-
minutes, won't we? So it's no point at all, is it?
Right.
So, right, you're deferring this,
Yes.
this list that you've been given, right? Okay.
Is that pending a working group meeting?
I'll
Yes.
we need to organise this one quite
Can
rapidly
we
there.
need to know, can we ask now who wishes to sit on the working?
No,
group?
we've already
We've
got the
already
word.
got
Have you got the
Yeah,
word? Okay,
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
I didn't realise we had
I think
the
it's
word.
far too detailed and complicated to
Okay.
agree on this table now. I think
Yes.
it needs to be discussed at length.
So the motion is that we defer it. Can I have a proposal from you,
That
Councillor
proposal
Smith?
fails.
Seconder. All those in favour that we defer it? Thank you. Jason? So that covers 16, 35, 11.
Yeah, we'll have to do next year's as well, so
Yes.
are you all happy
So
to
to
do?
do the vote,
Yeah.
16, 35, 11.
Yeah,
That will be next year's budget.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. Proposal for that.
will be included in the review.
propose it again.
Yeah.
I'll
Do we
propose
have
that.
to?
Yeah,
All those in favour
Yeah.
of deferring?
but I know you're all going
Motion.
to, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
Fine.
16, 35, 12. To consider writing to the auditors, BDO, to request an explanation on a number of points regarding the 15-16 accounts raised by Councillor Thompson. Councillor Thompson, before you actually speak, I'd like to thank you for bringing these serious comments to the council. And we have a true and accurate record signed by our internal auditors to say that the accounts are a true and accurate record. However, having gone through these, I think that we need to send these accounts out to be independently audited at a cost of approximately £400. And then, when we get the results from that, we can discuss why the internal auditors, they're not BDO, by the way,
Yes.
that's the Audit Commission who do the audit statement. So rather than us go through all this, I appreciate that you brought it to our attention. And my proposal is that I will instruct the responsible officer, i.e. Ashley, to get the accounts re-audited.
Fine. May I ask that these points are actually provided to the auditor?
Oh yes,
Oh, yeah,
of course.
yes.
Oh yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Chair, can I just ask, I mean, do the auditors actually go through every single item and actually...
Yes.
The internal auditor does,
Right, okay.
because it's his responsibility when he signs it to say this is a true and accurate record of the income and expenditure of the parish council. Now, if we
There is
fail-
one point that I wish to raise, though, which sadly is not very nice. But I have got concerns. It's not about what it is that there was an item of expenditure which was attributed to Councillor Smith's wife, was actually drawn down from Councillor Smith. That should not have happened.
So what documentation did you see regarding this?
It's where is it? Let's see. It's to do. It's to
2015, is it to do with the banner?
yes.
Yeah, so what was the documentation? The documentation that you saw, what
Yes.
was it that you have concerns with?
It's actually the cost of it is billed to your wife, but the actual remittance from the council is to yourself.
Right.
And I wonder why your wife has been actually drawing or actually actioning expenditure on behalf of the council, but it's not been actually agreed by council.
But did you see this on the documentation?
It is, yeah.
But did you also see what the item was for?
Well, yes, yes.
Which was?
It was to do with designing, actually.
No, it was for a banner.
Yes, but it was for the actual design cost.
The design is included in the cost of the banner.
Well, it's got design cost, but the point being is that it shouldn't be somebody outside the council.
But my wife didn't, my wife did not pay for it. What she did, as one of the members of the group who were organising the CPR training, needed a banner. In the same way that Hampers of Hope have a banner. They paid about £68, I think, for theirs. We paid 18 for the one for the council-funded CPR training. Now, the banner was required so that people who were turning onto the estate would see where the CPR was taking place. I actually paid for it with my...
All I'm saying is it's
let me finish, Councillor. Let me finish. You've asked a question, I'll give you the answer. I paid for it with my cheque card, my bank card, because we needed a banner.
No.
We needed a banner for the first groups who were going into CPR training on that Saturday. And the week before, we found a company online that did them and did what was required. And for the sake of expediency and form, I paid for it. And then I was reimbursed by the parish clerk from petty cash.
The actual documentation doesn't say your name, that's the point. It's your wife.
Right. And the documentation on the petty cash, is that saying my name?
I didn't look at the petty cash. What I'm saying is that it's about process, not money.
Right.
Right. If the council says to somebody, go ahead and do something, and that's clearly stated in the minutes and it's recorded.
So what was the problem with this transaction?
Well, I believe that your wife should not have been actually doing that on behalf of the council.
So you think that she...
I was doing it on behalf of the CPR
Can I
group.
suggest that it's scrutinised by the auditors and taken
Fine, yeah, but
Can I ask...
He just needed to raise it though, didn't he?
Can I ask Councillor Thompson that these comments that you've provided, you have seen all these...
we went through
Who's
them.
we?
It was me, somebody else, who I was not disclosed, and Ashley.
Is that true? Was it how many came in?
Yes, a resident came in.
Yes.
And
But you didn't come in.
I did.
But you didn't go through.
We went through.
The resident.
The resident had gone through far more than what we actually decided. I said we should leave those
what the
alone.
resident came out with.
Me.
Can I just ask what he's implying here? Because he's talking about
We
me.
need to speak to him after the meeting. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
I will
Mrs.
do.
Smith.
Well, no, I can't speak to you.
Why not?
That I
Sorry?
will do.
That's another issue.
Excuse me, can we just move on?
Can we move on?
No.
Yes,
No.
by all this chair.
The
Do
proposal
your-
is
get that.
that we send this out to an independent auditor at a cost from the council, and this will be brought back with a full report, and I will also be requesting that the auditor attends. That is my proposal.
Which was
Yeah,
costing
I'm
£100
concerned
quid.
that we're incurring extra expenditure
Yeah.
for documentation, for an audit that has already taken place
Yeah.
and that we've already signed off. We've agreed the
Yeah.
audit. And now we're saying that the audit is incorrect.
Well, when I actually tried to raise it in the actual council meeting where the audit was discussed, I was told by the chair that I could not raise this matter.
Because it wasn't on the agenda then.
But it was. That's the whole point. You
No,
categorically
it was
denied
these
it.
items were
Not these
These
items were
Well,
not
it
on
was.
the agenda.
But I actually said to you, Chair, that I wish to raise issues on
And
the
I said
audit
because it
return.
wasn't on the agenda, you couldn't.
But it was.
The audit was on
But the
audit was.
The audit certificate. These points weren't on the agenda.
Well, when were they ever on the agenda?
Well, no.
That's only because we've had to bring them back to council.
So he pays then?
The motion is that it goes out to independent audit. Okay. And can you organise that as soon as possible? Thank you. I'll propose it.
I'll second it.
All those in favour? Against? Can I ask for your reasons why?
Yeah, I think it's an unnecessary expense. Take it out of the food stand.
Yeah, it's our money.
Do you wish to give a comment on my
I probably think it's not worth the money anyway.
Okay, same conclusion.
She doesn't have it.
163513, to receive a letter written to Councillor Calder from his solicitor. Thank you, Councillor Calder. We've received it. We have taken legal advice since we received it. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't know what you want. You've asked us to receive a letter, which we have received a letter.
I asked for it to be discussed. Asked for it to be done as to receive. I didn't ask for it to be just received.
He's saying he's done right. He asked it to be discussed, not to receive.
Okay. Do you want to?
Chair, can I say something then? Because if we're going to, are we able to discuss this or not? Is that what we're going to do?
I don't feel that we can, because the motion has already been voted on, and it can't come back to the table for 6 months unless three councillors.
All right, okay.
I
I'm just going to try and come up with a suggestion.
Rescission of previous resolutions. Now, I understand where Councillor Calder is coming from. I have read both the statements and Councillor Calder's statement. I don't believe that there is a defamatory action. But it just depends on what question you ask your solicitor.
But can I, before you go on, because I'm trying to resolve it, what I'm saying is, can we not resolve this by putting forward a motion saying that to withdraw that particular bit from the minutes, and if council accepts that, can't we just draw a line under it, bring this to a closure?
Well, we're setting a precedence then, and we have standing orders. And as Councillor Thompson told me, that if you want to change something, it can't go back on the agenda for 6 months. This is exactly the same.
I did make the point to ask you that if the High Court instructed you to remove that thing from publication, then you would have no
No, he
choice.
never informed us of that.
Well, you did tell me that at the meeting, that if the High Court said it.
The thing is, Chairman, I think everybody agrees we're wasting so much time.
I know
on
we
this.
are.
Yeah.
And I think the point is, if we're prepared to,
Can I just say, Councillor Clark, that means that we don't believe, if we remove it, the statement was defamatory, and I don't believe it was.
No,
we've already voted that it wasn't defamatory.
No, you haven't.
no, can
Yes, we have.
Chair, because we're getting too caught up in it. I mean, if
We've
we're
redacted,
prepared to,
we've redacted the names. What
Right.
more?
okay,
I mean, how many more people have read it online? Have you had vexatious comments? Yeah, but have you had vexatious comments about your character? Because I know that other councillors have made vexatious comments that could be classed as defamatory, yourself included, about the interviewing. You go back to the interviewing when we actually interviewed for Ashley, and that's not on the minutes, but you name myself, Councillor Sullivan, Councillor Burgess and Councillor Smith, that we would be acting immoral if we employed the person you didn't want us to employ.
Well, it's all
now, is that
history, isn't it?
defamatory?
Chair, I mean,
You misquoted me, seriously.
No, I haven't, because I've read the emails and the letters and
Chair,
the
Chair.
Audit Commission from CEC.
Chair, can we
And you
then?
keep saying these things, Councillor Tolga, but we never get to
Can we
see
stick-
the actual email on the request that you ask. We just hear bits of what you put into emails, and it's becoming highlighted that you're either economical with the truth as you see it, and we see it all differently. I don't know. But obviously, that's how I view it.
Chair, can I just ask then, okay, we're going to continue with this, but can I ask in future that you do actually keep all the council informed of what you're doing and let us have copies of the, unless you're doing it personally, I don't know, but let us have copies of any advice you've got if it's through the, yeah, but it hasn't come out to us.
How
Nothing's
does
come to
we get
me.
legal advice without sanctioning paying for it?
We don't pay
We
for
don't
it.
pay for it.
Yeah,
Free legal advice
but
from
why
the
didn't it come out
insurance
then?
company.
Why
So
didn't
why
it come
haven't we
out
all
to
got
us?
I can circulate it out to you.
It's too late.
Why haven't we
Why
already
didn't you send it out before?
When did
Well,
you
I-
was that received this week?
I mean, you're not working for the chair. You're working
No.
It
Nobody's
was,
told me to stop it
excuse me, it was
circulating.
the clerk. It was the clerk who said that you wasn't going to circulate it. He said it wasn't necessary. So I take advice from him. Now, if you are now disagreeing with that,
Well, I don't know whether to disagree with it or not until I say it.
well, you get
What did you say, Ashwin?
What was that?
You said
When I
minutes.
asked, did it need to be circulated, your response to me
No,
was, not at this moment in time.
I don't remember saying
Yeah,
it.
you did.
But, okay, I haven't circulated it, but I can circulate
Yeah,
it and you can make a judgment on that.
Yeah.
But
I
it's only the insurance company's free legal advice service, so it's not hardcore.
Is that to the council?
Their concern
It's
is
to the
whether
council.
Council,
and
not councillors.
Yeah, it's to the council as a whole.
That's a different
yeah.
matter.
So,
So that's
and as
not the same thing at all, is that they're concerned with whether they would lose money.
yes, you're right, they would be concerned if they would lose money. It's come through the insurance company. You are right.
It's not the same thing as whether
Yes,
the council has behaved
That's-
lawfully.
that's right. Yes,
So is it legal advice?
it is.
Well, it's legal advice in a perspective,
That's right. From the insurance company's
point of view.
point of view.
But it was illegal.
It's a legal
Went
tip,
to.
yeah, and it's very important because
Yeah.
they'll be more concerned about losing money
Yeah.
against an insurance claim.
So they're not going to give bad advice?
No.
So they're
They'd like to hope.
Well,
You would
they've
hope
advice that's
the advice would be
useful to themselves.
sound, yeah, and useful to themselves. Their advice, and I'll circulate this for you, sorry. If no member of the council made a comment, okay, so if you had said something, then it's a different matter, according to the legal services team, and it was a member of the public, then Handford Parish Council would have to defend any argument on basis that they are obliged, as a parish council, to publish an accurate record of what is discussed at council meetings, and in any event, Handford Parish Council confirmed that the name of the individual that the comment was about has been taken out of the record.
So that doesn't justify the council publishing a defamatory statement. It simply says that they will defend
I
it.
think that's an issue for the lawyers, isn't it?
Yes.
Just one point, Chair. Councillor
But it was
Thomas
me.
mentioned that you've been misquoted on what you said on the occasion of the recruitment.
Excuse me, well, this has got
There's
nothing to do with
nothing
this
to do with
meeting.
that.
That's because this is to do with the defamatory statement.
No, I'm sorry, it hasn't. It's got nothing to do with any of this.
If we
So,
want
I
to
don't
we
wanna
want to start
hear it,
dragging
Chair.
up things, okay?
Okay.
You know what I mean? We can do.
I'll pass this out individually.
Right? Well, but you can post it.
Have we got notice here from the correspondence?
Do you want to go into the safe? Do you want to read this out?
Which?
Letter.
We've all got a copy of it.
We've all got a copy of it, why would you want to read it?
Okay.
163514, notices and correspondence.
We've had a letter of card of thanks as well to the council, saying thank you to, we'd like to show you our appreciation on your hard work and planning of beautiful display of fairy lights in Paddock and Handford. It looks festive, from Handford Community Group.
They just happened to arrive on the scene.
You were at the switch on, weren't they? Didn't they have a stall? They had a stall there, didn't they? Yeah. Recognised group.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Bridge of Legion. The girls. That's what they call themselves now.
Defamatory statements, right, aren't they? Right. Lies, lies,
I want one of those folders. Eh? Brings one over, Jan. Is that it? Mine has as well. Just want to get one of those.